Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 268 for the week of July 5th, 2016. My name is Ryan Higgins, who is here. See, this is what happens when I actually look up the episode and date before we hit record. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who else is here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Toby, you're like the quietest person alive.
No, I'm not.
Talk louder. I need to make sure we're recording you properly.
You always don't record me properly.
I guess that's fine. How's everyone?
Good.
Charlie, you were away for a little bit.
Not that anybody on the podcast can tell. I haven't missed a podcast.
Well, now they know.
Yes. Giving away all my secrets here, Ryan.
Have a good time?
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can you recognize that other stores?
Yeah. That's all.
Oh, yeah, you went down to Current Comics?
Yeah.
Our good friends
Sup,
Yeah.
Travis?
down there?
Yeah, I saw Travis. He recognized my voice without me having to actually introduce myself, which
You don't just walk around with a business card being like, hi, I'm Charlie from the Comic Conspiracy. How are you?
I should.
I am Charlie from the Comic Conspiracy.
At this
How are you?
point, it seems like it might be worth doing.
No, all Charlie has to do apparently is go, yeah, so I work at a shop up north. Charlie?
Yeah. Our good friend Bryce stopped by, very jet lagged.
Oh, God.
And very tired. But if you're a Bryce fan, next week's for you. And we got a very special Bryce briefly that'll be going up next week as well. So make sure you check out that. Jump on that Patreon, patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy if you want to hear those. And I think we're going to try to get more, at least once a month, something up on that Patreon for bonus content. So for all the backers, I feel like we've not been doing enough. Because we do this sort of questions online. I try and ask on there occasionally, but I don't get a lot of replies. So for all those people, even those guys that donate $1 a month, I want to give them some cool content. Maybe we'll do some... no, I was going to make a suggestion, but no. Brock would like it too much, so I can't do it. Record me putting the books on the wall on a Tuesday night before recording.
Shit Ryan says on a Tuesday night.
Especially on a really heavy week.
Yeah, I was going to say, it has to be the week where stuff just won't fit.
I don't want to go to jail, so I can't actually repeat the words that I say during
I need to go
that.
back and look at some of those blog posts I have of what you used to say, because they're pretty good ones.
It's pretty
in there.
bad. If you hate me now, you'd hate me even more if you heard me on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Anyway, we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about this week. We got a lot of questions, so we're going to hit that up. But I did want to talk real briefly. If you've been following Marvel the last couple weeks, they've been showing all these different covers where all their teenage heroes, along with the lines, I quit. I don't know if anyone's seen that stuff. We finally...
I saw the Cyclops I quit thing and like a date, so I was like, are they giving people a date that they're going to quit?
I don't know. Well, hopefully this is good things for all the books these characters are involved with, well, for the most part, because all the teenage characters have decided to quit their team books they're a part of and all join together to fight injustice as the new as the champions. As champions. Thank God it's called the Champions and not the New Warriors, or I would be very upset.
You would be getting yet another New Warriors
title. I would buy them all.
You would
and I would hate read every issue.
Maybe that's what we should do is every...
So the Avengers are losing like half their team?
Right, so we have Cyclops from All New X-Men. We have Miss Marvel, Nova, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
So yeah.
Amadeus Cho and Viv, the female Vision from Vision comic, which I so don't want any of those characters to ever leave the Vision comic. I'm afraid of all those characters being used past Vision. But we'll see. This is a cool concept. I'm totally cool with this, and it's actually written by Mark Waid and art by Humberto Ramos. So if you're an Impulse fan, this is that creative team put back together and dealing with some teenage characters. So this hopefully means we can now get the real Avengers and possibly Cyclops back and the real Hulk back. Although there's rumor that Hulk may be the one that bites it in Civil War #3. We don't know. That's rumor, so no spoiler because we don't know. But that's one of the rumors. Yeah,
it's an obvious rumor.
Yeah. So very curious to see what's going to happen there. And big Civil War talk next week as well. So get caught up if you want to hear that. So fine, whatever, cool team. Just glad it's not called New Warriors. So anyone got any specific interest in this?
No.
Like most things, I'll check out issue 1.
Yeah.
Toby's a big Ramos fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so excited for these characters, though, so we'll see.
It's not our teenage characters.
No, yeah.
Correct.
All these young kids.
I know.
What do we do with them? Yeah.
I bet they're all on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I bet they're all on Tinder or something like that. It's terrible. For those wondering, Marvel has not been able to use the name Champions as a comic book for quite some time because of the Champions video role-playing game. Mm-hmm. There's been some back and forth on that. However, they released a statement that says, Marvel Comics and Heroic Publishing have entered into a joint agreement that allows for the publication of a Marvel Champions comic book, while at the same time allowing Heroic to continue publishing its own line of separate Champions and Champions-related titles. We're pleased to have reached an agreement with Heroic Publishing and wish Heroic Publishing the best in their future endeavors. I'm sure that's before... that was right before Disney's lawyers got involved and will now sue these people into oblivion.
Well, I remember Marvel was like...
Yes?
That's a long pause.
No, there was something I was recalling from before that I think it was Marvel who had issues with them at one point.
Is this not based on the Champions game? There's a Heroic Publishing is a comic called The Champions, but I thought this actually was based on the Champions game, but maybe not. Anyway, go ahead. Apparently it's an entirely different thing. Yeah. I have no idea then. I have no idea who these people are.
Okay, never mind then.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I was just... there's been a number of times, especially in video games, where you can make heroes where Marvel has sued said company because people were able to make incredibly accurate-looking Spider-Man or whatnot in the games. Just... not like, here, you can play Spider-Man, but if you get this mask and pair it with this art, yeah.
For a Patreon idea, we could just record you hate reading things.
Maybe. Although I am a little concerned because there is also a new Great Lake Avengers, which I did see earlier. However, now I see a character on here that bothers me. Zach Gorman was one of the writers from Rick and Morty, the comic, and then Will Robson, who's the Star-Lord artist. They're launching a new Great Lake Avengers. They are cashing in, as part of the book, they're cashing in on the success of their former teammate Squirrel Girl. However, now I see a cover with Speedball on it, so now I am worried what that means because it's a comic book with Speedball on it. So
you have to move to Michigan?
No, I just thought that means he'd buy
wait. Is that not Speedball? I actually have no idea who that character is. It looks exactly like Speedball, but maybe it's not.
I'm enjoying this. Ryan starts reporting something and then realizes really that thing...
Oh, apparently. Okay, never mind. Really small picture. That's Mr. Immortal. That's one of the guys from Great Lake Avengers. Never mind. Crisis averted. Don't have to buy that comic. So fantastic. Great Lake Avengers. You'll be canceled after 6 issues because you've always been a success. Yeah, Marvel's got a lot of shitty new titles coming up.
Is this part of their Marvel Now thing?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
They've got some real dogs coming up, and I don't know what is happening.
What?
We'll talk about that when we talk about the last of the Marvel ones. I'm going to get a full list together of all the upcoming titles, because I don't think they'll all be announced next week, but a lot of rumor. We got a lot to talk about next week about Marvel. But, oh boy. Yeah, that's it. This is a very small news week, but we have tons of questions here. I have a bunch backtracked and a bunch of Twitter questions. So
we do have one big announcement.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let's get this stuff out of the way first, because otherwise I'll do it in the last 5 minutes of the episode when no one remembers. We're making a very, very large announcement here. Let me do the smaller, large announcements first. Large announcement first. That would be if you are in the Greater Bay Area next weekend. That would be, the 16th or 17th, I believe it is, of July. We are going to be having our not-so-annual, July 16th and 17th, Saturday and Sunday, our not-so-annual post-4th of July, pre-Comic-Con, midsummer sale. So that Saturday, Sunday, a lot of good savings on the store.
In other words, Ryan wants your money before you go spend it all at Comic-Con.
I'm not going to Comic-Con, especially.
I would call this the AC,
a post-honeymoon. Refill my bank account because now we have to replace our fence and our air conditioner.
You misheard me. I was like, you want the people to spend it here before
they go to Comic-Con. Right, exactly. My air conditioning and our furnace is out, and so come give me some money so I can be a cool cat. We also recommend you pick up your tickets if you want to go see Killing Joke with us on Monday, July 25th. Probably not Toby because he's going to be driving for 14 hours before the movie and will fall asleep within 5 seconds of it starting. So I'm suggesting he doesn't come.
Or just be really loony.
Yeah. Appropriate movie for it.
Yeah.
But we're going to be showing a screening of Killing Joke at Mountain View, Century 16, Monday, July 25th, 7:30 p.m. Buy your tickets, comicsconspiracy.biz. You can pick them up here at the store. Of course, you have to be local to watch this, so don't forget that. But the real big news, exclusive to this Comics Conspiracy podcast first, and will be going up online in the next day or two. But you guys are hearing about this first. We are doing our very first store-exclusive variant cover for Harley Quinn #1, which ships the first week of August. I believe it's August 3rd.
3rd, yeah.
There's a couple covers out there right now, but you should definitely keep an eye out for ours. We're going to have links up to purchase this and everything. Mm-hmm. It's Mikhail Janin, who is the artist on Justice League Dark, as well as Grayson, the series that just wrapped up. And he is also going to be the rotating ongoing artist for Batman, along with, what's-his-face?
David Finch.
David Finch. So he's doing the second arc starting with issue 8 after the crossover. And dude, this guy's artwork is incredible. And I admit, I was sweating some bullets before.
You've been on edge. You were really on edge yesterday.
We did. We were supposed to get the art sometime in the last couple of days, and over the weekend I was like, please don't suck, because it's the first time we're doing a store exclusive cover. They're not cheap, right? And so I didn't really know what to expect. And dude, Janin nailed it. It is. So I've looked at all the covers that are available, right? There's a lot of them out there.
I have my list of ones I need to get.
There's some that are just incredible. I'm not going to lie. But I think we're in the top 5 covers that are out there. I love this cover. I'm so happy with it. We got like a rough pencil sketch, colors, and I mean, it looks, you could print it as is to me. I mean,
yeah, it looks pretty amazing right now.
Yeah, you just need to color in a few little things that are a little more just, overshadowed. But like the fact that this is going to get even better inked and everything, it's an incredible piece. So I'm super excited for this. Comicsconspiracy.biz, in-store, eBay, Amazon. We're going to have sets available if you're one of these guys that like to buy multiple copies. You get them a little bit cheaper that way.
Guilty.
Huh?
Guilty.
Yeah.
Me too.
We're going to talk to CBCS about actually doing some pre-screen copies. So if you want your 9.8 CGC, or not CGC.
You already have my order down on that.
CBCS. So. We'll have some of those available. Very, very excited for these. So
you need to frame one for the store.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Should.
Yeah.
Just so that you have one that doesn't go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Price.
We need to get the what's his name to sign it first. If we're
He's. I don't remember where he is. I don't know if he's in Spain. He's not. Okay. He's not American.
But I mean, either way, yeah. You get it framed up in the store, and then if this one does well, you get the next one framed, and you could just have a nice display.
It's going to be your toilet collection.
There you go. So I'm very, very excited.
So what are we saying?
This.
It's all DC. There will not be a Marvel.
Well,
if Marvel drops their minimum numbers,
it's not so much the minimum number; it's the retail price. Marvel's, they tend to do these on bigger issues that are honestly
more
outside my price range currently. Now, if this goes if we hit this one out of the park and we sell through most or all of them, I may be able, if you get some more interest, kind of keep that rolling to move on to some other covers. So it's possible that we'll do more of these. But for now, we're going to keep it to this one and see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sort of to do these covers, and I'm very, very excited to do this one. I'll be more excited when the bill is paid. It's paid, and I don't have to worry about it because it's not cheap. But it's awesome. I'm so excited for this. So. Yeah, if you guys want to order, again, my hope is we'll have pre-orders up next week. So by the time you hear the next podcast, we should have all the official announcements up, prices, packs. So that's the news.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
Now I just need to track down all the ones I want. Damn it!
There's a lot of them. So we got a couple questions here. Let's see. This is from Dane. This is an email. I'm gonna get a bunch of emails to read here.
What is this form of communication you speak of?
Yeah, we get them occasionally. Well, let me rephrase that. We get them a lot. We answer them occasionally. He says, "Hey guys, started listening last year. I'm over 100 podcasts in, and I'm still catching up. Oh, cool.
Nice.
What would we be talking about?
A year ago?
No, if he's 100 podcasts in, that's 100 episodes in. That's like 2013. So we're probably right at the drop of the New 52. Like New 52 starting to cool down. Probably right in the middle of a bunch of their like their weird.
Well, it depends. Did he pick us up at a certain episode and then go back and start listening to the early ones?
He says 100 podcasts in. So obviously, I think he started with number 1.
Oh wow.
He says, I have a question. What do you guys think about limited series that tie into existing universe-wide events like Civil War II? With Civil War II, there's an X-Men limited series, a Spider-Man limited series, and a few others. It seems to me that these series mostly end up being filler, almost like deleted scenes from the main book. Being someone with limited time and resources, I usually skip them, and when I don't feel like I'm not missing much, what do you guys think? I do realize the main books will have some crossover relevant to the event, but I'm just not sure that we need another X-Men or Spider-Man title to handle it all. What do you guys think? He says thank you for the podcast as well.
I greatly prefer it that way than taking over the main title most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have a Spider-Man issue one way or another. If it's not a limited series to go with it, it would be an Amazing or one of the other titles. And they've done that tons and tons of times. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, it's jarring for the creative team on the main book. It doesn't quite fit with what they're doing, and it's just better to do it this way.
Yeah. I think there are times where it has been helpful to put them in the main series if it's something that's pretty relevant. Like, I know like the old Infinity Gauntlet series, when they tied in with like Silver Surfer and Doctor Strange, to me that it made sense.
And, like, to me, a large part of it is if it's the same writer or a writer who's heavily involved in the build-up for the event, having it in the main book typically isn't jarring like because it's part of it.
Like the Hickman Avengers, Infinity crossover, right?
But when it's not something where that actual artist or creative team is working on the event, most of the time it basically means that there's been a mandate to say, well, we need to have some Spider-Man issues that tie into this. And a lot of times those tie-ins end up being like one line so they could put the tagline on it. Or it ends up taking over the issues for a number of issues, which tends to be jarring for the actual story that was being built up.
Well, I think it's he makes a good point here, because I think if you have the minis, they are not important at the end of the day because they're not in the main series. If they were in the main series, it'd be important. However, if they're in the main series and you don't want to read the crossover, you're stuck reading this garbage you don't care about.
Yeah.
So I think Marvel and DC have done more of these recently, where the big titles get the specials or the one-shots or the minis. Justice League did it during Darkseid War. Marvel's doing it now with Civil War 2, where Spider-Man, X-Men, they're not in the main title, right? They're in the miniseries. However, you want like Captain Marvel to get a boost or Sam Wilson to get a boost, so you throw the crossover into the main book. Yeah. I think there's good and bad with both.
Well, I think it's a balancing act. I mean, when they did like Darkseid War, right, where they had the specials. I like, and Endgame too was kind of like that, where they had the one shot for. It
would have felt weird if those were in the main titles.
It would have been,
because
yeah.
But again, it's also how much are you actually going to of a story you're going to give us? If you're going to give us 4 issues, on a miniseries, is that too much or is it too little?
Well, look at what's happened as part of All New, All Different, Secret Wars. So we have various crossovers. The books end, they come back, and now they're in Civil War 2 crossover mode, right? So in the course of a year, you have some books that have only had 4 or 5 or 6 traditional issues, where the rest are either canceled, crossover, separate mini.
So for me, a lot of the distinction kind of going back to the original Civil War, Iron Man was a key player in it, and they did a lot of the sort of build-up in the Iron Man book that was going on at the time. So having all the tie-ins and stuff in the Iron Man book made sense, even though it wasn't the writer of Civil War, because it wasn't just dropping it into the middle of the event. It was actually built up in the book, and same with like Spider-Man. Spider-Man had a significant role to play within the original Civil War, so they had both the sort of build-up in the Amazing Spider-Man book at the time and the fallout in the Amazing Spider-Man book at the time. I love when stuff sort of plays that way, where they kind of actually boost each other.
Yeah.
What I don't really like is we were going in one direction, where sometimes in the middle of a story that then gets interrupted for a tie-in issue or two, where they kind of loosely thread it in and then right back out.
Yeah.
Like in talking about sort of like bad examples, like I felt that way about, I think it was not Endgame. I think it was Death of the Family with Catwoman.
Yeah. A lot of those Death in the Family books that were
what were we doing 100 episodes ago? Probably complaining about the Death in the Family crossovers because that was Catwoman was the example we used at the time. Where I think you said there was only 5 or 6 real issues,
and then
in that year.
It's like because it came around issue 13 for Catwoman,
every other issue.
And the thing is the same thing with like Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad had only had X amount of issues, and then bam, we're smack dab in the middle of this. And when you go back and you read these in trade, you see how horribly these things like intertwined with the book that they were associating with.
Sometimes I actually prefer when they do the trades if they pull those crossover books out of the like Suicide Squad trades and just put them in the sort of like Endgame collection or Death of the Family collection, just because if you've completely taken over a title so it has nothing recognizable from what was going on before or what's going to go on after, it just doesn't belong in those trades.
Yeah, I mean, if you're reading a comic and all of a sudden it completely shifts to some ridiculous other... you're like,
I think it's a balancing act every single time. It's trying to figure out what's the best way of doing it, how, what's the best way to implement it. Minis, one shots,
And I think some of this also, as you've kind of looked at this stuff over the years, a lot of it really depends on like month 1 crossovers tend to open up the floodgates for month 4, 5, etc. Like, if the crossovers are doing really, really well, they start pushing them in like all the books. And then other ones that kind of aren't doing so well, so they don't hit the same saturation level.
Onward. What do we got next?
Set up a few questions here.
Email?
I'm going to go kind of back and forth here. Going from Brad. He's on Twitter. He says, for podcast, as a Green Arrow fan, have you read the Mike Grell run? Thoughts? My favorite. Oops. And he started rereading today. Still holds up. Mike Grell's, that's the early stuff.
Longbow Hunters?
Longbow Hunters, all the stuff from the 80s. I've read a fair share of them, like long time ago, when I was like quarter bin diving, starting my Green Arrow run. And I've since picked up all of them, but I haven't read like the entire run start to finish.
I know they've been releasing the trades of that stuff. And that's on my list of stuff to pick up.
Yep. That's been coming out pretty regularly. I think they're, what are they, up to 4 now?
4 or 5.
I think 4 volumes. They're roughly 40 issues into the series. A couple, good crossovers and stuff. You've read some of that, Toby?
Yeah, I really like it. Yeah,
I do like that a lot. So, where was I saying?
The art's really good back then too.
Yeah, who did a lot of the art on that?
It was a very classic kind of detailed 80ish look.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
You're gonna have to look that up on the computer. I don't remember.
Yeah. This is actually not a question specifically, but a comment. But I do want to respond to this because
sorry.
Huh?
I will say sorry before you go with this comment
because we're going to be talking about this again in a couple weeks. This is from Ivan. He says you're gonna love the Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition. It's surprising how much it allows each scene to breathe. And yes,
wait for the 5-hour podcast.
For those that have asked, 3-hour podcast coming up where we will describe every minute of that movie. No, I'm just joking. But yes, I'm an old man, so I'm waiting for the physical media copy to come in the mail.
I'm waiting for the physical media too.
From Amazon. So when the Blu-ray comes, I will watch it, and we will definitely have a discussion about it. Bryson Brock may not be invited to that podcast, but
what?
I may mute everyone's mic.
I wasn't so bad on the last one.
Well,
you were horrible.
You're always miserable, but it was better than Man of Steel. What's that?
I already have it pre-ordered.
Yeah. When's it ships?
July 19th.
Is it the same weekend? Yeah, it's pretty soon. So very, very excited for that. Let's see. We go. This is from Travis. Actually, pardon me. I actually asked thoughts on Champions of Great Lakes Avengers. You told you that. I'm glad I don't have to buy it. I thought Speedball was in one. I was worried. But he says, did you read the older series of those titles? I never read. I mean, I read Great Lake Avengers. They had a couple one-shots and minis.
Yeah, I've read
years.
a couple of those.
And Toby,
I definitely did because they were actually collected in my Avengers little digests when I was reading them in German.
where did Great Lakes Avengers first appear? Your
West
favorite,
Coast.
West Coast
Yeah,
Avengers.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Well, the reason why I had to think about it because the way I bought them in German was the first half was Avengers and the second half was West Coast Avengers.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
I never
okay.
actually knew, if they when they threw in like West Coast, Great Lake Avengers, I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
where that actually laid. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Trying to
so.
confuse you. Damn them.
No, it's not that. It's just the way they were released. Yeah, because it's basically collecting like 6 issues or so, and maybe more, like 10 issues into one, like bigger than Archie, maybe the double size of Archie digest size. Yeah.
Yeah, they had. It's weird that did they have continuing?
Oh yeah, they come out monthly.
But was it like a continuing story, or
Yeah.
would they kind of jump around?
No, it's like the first half would be the main. So if it's Avengers book, the first half would be Avengers, right?
Right.
The second half would be West Coast and other stuff.
Yeah.
Like
The Hawkeye solo book, or
yeah, that would be like later, like
Yeah.
the second halves. Like
Yeah.
if it's like a Captain America book, the second half would be like a Falcon mini story. No, it was Namor. It was
Okay.
Namor in the second half for some John Byrne. Yeah, Namor stuff. So it was like half of one thing, and then the back half was like another book. So it was always like kind of like the main marquee, and then you get extra stuff in the back.
you're excited for the John Byrne omnibus
Yeah,
thing that
I
comes out
actually
tomorrow.
really like that.
It's all these new, West Coast Avengers and
I really
Avengers, yeah.
that's the stuff that really when I really started reading comics, that was all the stuff that was
Sort of
coming
was.
out, and that's the stuff I really like.
Yeah. We got an email here from David, our friend Problematic Cartoon. It's on Twitter. He's always sending us replies. I'm not going to tell you when this is from.
What?
I'm not going to tell you when this is from because that shows you how old some of these emails are. But it's a good question we can answer.
Can we guess?
It's a good couple questions we can answer from. Oh, it's actually one of the more recent too. He says, "Hey gang, I recently finished reading the '90s Rock of Ages story. That's the Justice League Grant Morrison stuff. Easily one of my. Is that my favorite arc in that Justice League run? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Rock of Ages is fantastic.
Well, what's the other one that everyone likes? Tower?
Well, that's not.
That's Wade, right?
That's Mark Wade's run. Yeah. He says, I just read the Rock of Ages story and was completely blown away by it. Now I want more Darkseid in my life. I read Final Crisis back when it came out, but it didn't do much for me as I found it a bit impenetrable. So where do I go from here? What Darkseid stories are good and in print?
So that
the imprint always.
That's somehow, especially with the Justice League movie around the corner filming, right? And Darkseid and the New Gods are a major part of it. The Jack Kirby New God collections are all out of print. Those hardcovers and then the really soft covers that came out a couple years ago, Charlie, all out of print. So I have to assume there's going to be a big fat omnibus of that coming out soon. Maybe each run will have its own book. Mm-hmm. And then they have to be reprinting those because that's essential Kirby. I've only read a handful of them because they're hard to find, and the trades were in and out of print so quickly. So
yeah, I bought it all as it was coming out.
Yeah, the hardcovers.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, if they reissue those, I'll definitely buy
Charlie,
them.
would he get anything less?
I've recently gone to his house to see how much his library expanded. It's quite nice, I have to say. I was like, that bookshelf is new. That bookshelf is new.
How did you
and
fit
they're all
that
full.
bookshelf there?
Yeah. So,
and my wife was sending me texts as we were starting the podcast about another bookshelf I might be able to buy.
Oh, very nice.
I won't spoil the twist, but if you want a good story that has nothing to necessarily do with Darkseid, you should buy Legion of Superheroes: The Great Darkness Saga, which I don't know why I would mention that comic because we're talking about Darkseid, and Darkseid's not in that comic. He's definitely not the secret villain. You find out at the end that it was Darkseid all along.
And he's not on the cover if you buy the trade.
No, you're just going to ignore that. I don't know why Darkseid's on the cover. I have no idea why Darkseid's on the cover of that. But yeah, Great Darkness Saga.
Yeah.
That Legion run is fantastic.
The Curse is okay.
Which one?
The next one, the Curse of...
I mean, that's just continuing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Stuff. Yeah,
I haven't finished it. That's why.
I don't even think that's in print. I think they just because that's all the Paul Levitz. That's a big chunk of the Paul Levitz run, and the early stuff. Great Darkest Saga is fantastic. Final Crisis. If you read it in singles or you read it slowly, it was coming out. You reread that in one sitting, especially if you read Multiversity, the more recent Morrison run. Final Crisis is the direct start of that. I mean, it picks up exactly where Final Crisis leaves off. So a must read.
New 52 Justice League first volume.
First arc, yeah. The first arc's good. Yep. This email was from after that arc was released, so it's not that.
You can also read. I'm blanking. Earth 2.
Oh, actually, let me finish reading part of his email here because this gives a little context. He says, if the answer is Darkseid War, if one of the answers is Darkseid War, which it was, Darkseid War was great. How much of the Justice League book do I need to keep reading before diving in? I started with the New 52 launch, but fell off after the first arc. It did a little to inspire me to keep reading. Nothing. You can just jump in immediately with Darkseid War.
Jump in Darkseid War.
The first trade just came out, so
Future's End, right?
Future's End?
No. What's the Earth 2 one end?
World's End?
World's End. You can read that. That one has Darkseid in it.
Yeah, it's all right.
So,
there's a lot. Darkseid's all over the place in the 80s and 90s. They really did a ton of Darkseid stuff in the 90s. But yeah, Rock of Ages is one of the best.
Don't read that new John Byrne.
Oh God, no. Rock of Ages. When Green Arrow shoots Adam at Darkseid, Darkseid's like, "What are you two going to do to me?" And he takes him out. It's so good. That's like one of my absolute favorite scenes. I love that.
Yet to read that.
Oh, it is so good.
Well, the problem is I go and I look at the trades, and they're all the weird freaking sizes and all like.
Here's a rare case where I actually wish I got the soft covers and not the hard covers, because the hard covers are just the Morrison issues, which are awesome, right?
Yeah.
The soft covers include the fill-in arcs, which some of those fill-in issues are, they're as good as the Morrison run.
Yeah,
I think that Justice League is going to actually be a binding project.
There's a two-part Adam Strange crossover, or not crossover. There's a two-part Adam Strange run in there by Mark Waid that is to this day one of my favorite like little arcs. So good.
Well, one of they had that Morrison reading order, that Superman Morrison reading order that guy had online.
Yep, and Justice League's in there.
That was a pretty good thing. So if you like Morrison and stuff, I would go look at that.
Yeah. Last question by David here. He says, "What are the group's thoughts on Man of Steel era Superman comics?" Speaking of John Byrne, that's Man of Steel. That's when John Byrne was writing and drawing that. Are those collections worth grabbing? I'm assuming they're all in print because they're still releasing new ones. They might not be. If you see them, I'd grab them if you're interested, because I have a feeling those aren't. I mean, they are still every couple of years putting out a new volume, but and that's got the classic Zod, Death of Zod arc. That's got that Joker Batman issues is a really popular one. That's a good read. Byrne, that might not be Byrne's best, but it's definitely good. That Man of Steel miniseries is really solid. I think that's the best part of it. So thanks for helping an avowed Marvel zombie navigate through the DC universe. You're welcome.
I like how he refers to himself as a Marvel zombie.
They know,
as every Marvel fanboy should.
They know. Our most prolific tweeter, Casey. We love you, Casey. He asks, "Is Identity Crisis still canon? And if not, would you like to see them build up to another Identity Crisis type event?" I assume not redoing Identity Crisis, but a more, let's say, emotional as opposed to action-packed crossover. Who knows? Honestly, who knows at this point? What still counts and what doesn't? I mean, the DC universe seems to be a continuation of it, but we don't know what they're going to actively acknowledge. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Identity Crisis was so good.
Yeah, I remember when that was coming out. That was really my book that I just, every time a new issue came out, I was ripping the box open to read through.
Yeah.
The end, I reread it maybe a year or two ago. The early issues still stand up. The ending, I feel, is kind of a little, and not comes out of nowhere, but you're like, okay, that's an interesting ending. But just all the stuff in the beginning of that book is so good. Question here from Clinton, just Clint Dale. He says, how long before the next Marvel relaunch or all new or rebirth or whatever the hell they call it? Like 2 months. Yeah. It's September, right?
Yeah.
It's all these books we're talking about, this Champions. And
maybe we should be asking, when's the one after that?
Yeah. Next September. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Yeah. Marvel's going to a seasonal method for their comic books. They mentioned this a couple years ago. No one thought they were actually doing it, but they are. We're getting basically a year worth of creative teams, and then the big switcheroo, all new number ones. There's something like 20 number ones coming out starting in the next couple months. I don't think it's not going to be like all new, all different level, but they're ending a number of titles and they're launching a big number of titles. And I'm actually going to get that list together because I want to discuss it next week.
I think a prime example of this formula failing is this week the nice hardcover for Vader comes out, which collects issues 1 to 12. Mm-hmm. But we already know it's ending at 25. I'm like, well, I know they're going to do an omnibus of Gillian, so why am I going to even pick this up?
Yeah, I mean, it's done that though. They always did like the first couple of trades, and then they did the hardcovers, mini hardcovers in the trades, and then the bigger hardcovers. It's nothing new.
Well, the only thing that sort of bothers me is you can't 100% know. Yeah. Like, Vader's a safe bet. They're going to do an omnibus just because of how well that book is done. But there's plenty of series that they started on the hardcovers. The hardcovers didn't do
Runaways.
Well. Yeah.
I'm very annoyed, Marvel.
And there's been no indication that they're going to go back and do additional omnibuses or anything of that. So,
and I think I started the Ultimate Spider-Mans on the omnibus size, and they just never continued that.
Yeah, I think they dropped it
like in the teens,
the Ultimate Spider-Man, because they did do like the
they didn't.
Yeah, they did the first one, the end.
Yeah,
but everything in between they just didn't do.
Right.
So it's I'll have to get the old school ones.
Question here from Tyler. He says, with comics like Uncanny Inhumans number 11, I'll explain that in a second. He says, how do you deal with it? Limit issues? Do you keep any to sell later for more? So Uncanny Inhumans 11 came out this past week, and it was the stealth first appearance of a new character named Mosiac that Marvel is pushing kind of heavy. I don't know, that's another one of these new number ones coming up. I actually haven't read too much about what's going on, but that's part of the conversation we're going to have next week. So I have some time to look into it more. But this was kind of the stealth launch of this character that nobody knew was coming, right? I mean, we knew the character was coming in his own book, but we didn't know he was first going to appear in Uncanny Inhumans. So yes, another Inhumans comic is being launched with Mosaic. Good luck, Marvel. But with Uncanny Inhumans, so we had people...
Well, you had bumped your orders for Road to Civil War 2.
Well, we bumped my orders because of a Civil War 2 crossover, right? So if you pre-ordered the Civil War 2 set, hey, congratulations, you have like a $25 comic in there now. But for, we got extra copies like I do. But... yeah, I mean, nobody knew about it till the day it shipped. So
no, they knew it the day before.
Yeah, but realistically, if everybody had known about it and there were plenty of copies, the attention, like, this is what always kills me on stuff.
It's hot because
like
no one had it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I put up a great little sign that said, Karnak will kick you in the face if you try to buy more than one copy of Uncanny Inhumans number 11. I sold all our variant covers on eBay. I made more money on that issue than I have every Inhumans book this year. Let's just put it that way. And I gave all the copies that I had here. I sold them to our regular customers or subscribers. I looked up who else had bought the previous issues and pulled it for them just in case they wanted it. And then by 11:15, we were sold out.
Yep.
Because the first 10 people in the store went, why is this limited? First appearance of a new character. I'll give it a try. By the time the scalpers actually got here... like at the next couple days, we were long gone. Mm-hmm. So,
well, I think the best was the variant sales because they were. I mean, it was just ridiculous on eBay how much those things were going for.
Yeah. It was just I sold them all for dumb money. So, but hey, I mean, maybe I just sold the book that would be worth $10,000 in the future. So, what are you gonna
do? Yeah, highly doubt that.
It's possible.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess what always kills me is. People will pay a premium for those variant covers, but that's not tend to be like they'll go up, but they don't go up by the same margin.
Yeah, they don't hold, and they don't hold the value as long.
Some do.
Some do, but not a lot.
I heard the comics conspiracy retailer
Harley
Quinn #1 by Mikhail Janin. That's going to be a hot book. Better pay double asking price just to make sure you get your hands on a copy.
Or triple.
Heard triple. I heard that's going to be a hot comic.
I just want to see it get in the hands of the actress who plays Harley Quinn and say, "Look what I got."
So Brock,
oh no,
you have to.
I'm in trouble.
Give us your tagline.
Yep, I'm waiting for it.
Give us your tagline.
Nope, you have to say his name first.
We got a question.
Oh, we do?
From Mitchell.
Hey, Mitch. Yeah, that's right. Don't steal my line ever again.
I got a question from Mitch.
I've read this one.
Who says, there's a new anime. I don't think it's new. There's a new anime called Berserk out, and there's a manga. Oh,
new.
maybe. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, Berserk's really
like super old. Well,
there might be a new one coming out, like a new story. I think you guys saw something about it.
Yeah, because
it's definitely not new, though.
No, yeah, Berserk's an old series, and there's an older manga. Have any of you read it, and is it good? It looks interesting. This is where I just admit that, man, my anime and manga reading, anime watching is just, this last couple of years has been zero. Has been literally zero. It's the worst. Charlie, I know Toby's been catching up with Naruto. You watch 1,000 things constantly. So were you here when we were making fun of you? How you do like 90 things at once?
Yes,
yes,
okay.
I was.
Okay, have you guys seen Berserk? I heard it's great.
So I've seen the original. I don't know if I ever finished it. Just to add to the tons of stuff that I need to go back to at some point. But there was a point in time when I was really heavily into anime, and it wasn't readily available online.
Yeah. Now that it's all there, you don't want to.
Well, now that it's all there, it's like I can focus on a couple at a time, but there's still hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
Now we sold quite a few toys at the previous store that we worked at of Berserk, and that's all I know about it. And the manga sold actually pretty well too.
The reality is there were a lot of really successful.
That was like
animes and mangas, and you couldn't stock the merchandise. Like some of the early special orders I did here at the shop were for Trigun. If you remember, like I ordered like the art book and like a statue and that stuff way back when. Yeah. Oh, the days when I had to go pay attention to what DVDs were coming out to be able to watch the next episodes.
I remember the days when I special ordered Cowboy Bebop on VHS, which only had 2 episodes.
There used to be a comic shop that's no longer,
and that was
new
like
name, etc.
That was after the anime hype already started.
They used to rent anime VHSs, and
R&K used to. Yeah, R&K used to.
They're now comic collectors.
Oh yeah.
Not really the same shop anymore.
No.
But yeah, I remember I literally rented like VHSs from R&K occasionally when I really wanted to watch something, and I wasn't going to go pay crazy prices for it.
There were crazy prices.
I know I must have told you this, Toby, and you, Charlie. So because we've had a couple manga episodes on and off where we've talked about this. One of my early, it wasn't here where I first saw anime and manga. It was when I lived back east. But one of my earlier experiences being a very young teenager here and going to Legends, actually as a shop that you guys used to work at, and buying exactly those. I used to buy Ranma 1/2.
Yeah.
The actual
subtitled. I remember ringing up Ryan Scott a few times at Legends.
Really?
Quite a few. I remember. I totally remember him coming into the store.
I would get the 2-episode subbed DVD or blue
$25 or $30.
Yeah, I think they were like $30 or $40.
Yeah.
They were super pricey.
I'm trying to remember what it was, but I remember, speaking of R&K, so I had already been shopping here regularly, so I already knew you from here, and like you got an order of like anime action figures from R&K one day, and I ran into you, I'm like, why are you buying these here?
I don't remember that.
That may be, I want to say maybe Love Hina.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Ryan doesn't buy that shit.
I don't remember that at all.
But it was like the line of the figures or something. I remember being very confused at the time.
Was I buying them for a customer or something?
I don't know. I just remember you walked out of there with like a
Leanna's going to have his head if he
me
and
Leanne watched Love Hina.
Yeah.
Really?
So here's the thing with Love Hina. Love Hina gets a ton of hate, right? But you have to admit, I didn't actually know. I hadn't seen a lot of anime when that was coming out. Because I kind of I was in it in the early 90s. And then what was that, like 2000 maybe? Like 2001? Like that was when it kind of started to boom, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the early series that me and Leanne watched together.
Yeah.
The whole like kind of like harem anime thing.
No, watching, I can see you watch it.
Yeah.
I just don't see you buying toys of Love Hina.
And he may have been getting them for somebody.
Yeah.
I just found it weird that he was getting them from another shop.
I could see him
because I was
watching
buying
it.
from here.
I just don't
and then
see him
lo
buying
and behold, years later, I was still shopping here and working at Legends. So it all comes around.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of people hate that show. But for me, it was like I hadn't actually watched many shows like it. So it was like, oh, this is funny and clever. I think it just became this big thing that blew up, and then people love to hate on it. So
I don't hate on it. I'm just surprised that you were buying toys. That's
yeah. No, I have no record. No, I did get from them because I missed. There was a time where I missed an order. I got some of the Herculoids figures from them. So it's possible that maybe
I remember it was like an anime figure.
I don't remember.
But yeah, I don't know.
Let's just move on anyway.
The forum will be happy to know that I'm currently trying to watch the My Hero Academia finally.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get through those. While I'm also watching Shippuden. Fuck, man, there's only like 5 minutes of content in those episodes.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
Yeah. We got one here from...
Are we going to news anytime soon, or we're done with the news?
We were
no
done with
news
the
is
a while
good
ago.
news.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about this Netflix Hulu deal.
Okay.
I'm very
You
annoyed
mean
about
CW?
it. Yeah, I'm very annoyed about it.
Talk about it.
I think it's awesome.
What are they doing?
How is it awesome? Well, for you who pays for TV, for a person like me who relies on Hulu to watch things like as they come out, this is horrible.
So I'm assuming...
You want me at your house every day from now on, Charlie? Is that what you want?
My assumption is the CW TV website for streaming stuff will not go away, as well as the CW
But it's not high
TV
def,
app.
supposedly.
But it's also, you don't have to wait 8 days. And all
It's
that.
8 days after the finale.
Yes, but what I'm saying is previously with like Hulu or whatnot, unless you were a
Hey, hold on.
We should give a little background
Explain.
on all of
I have
this.
no idea what you're talking about.
All right. So CW has finished their deal with Hulu, and they're moving over to Netflix. So instead of watching things that night off after midnight, all the episodes are going to be available for Supergirl, Legends, Arrow. They're going to be available 8 days after the finale
On Hulu?
on Netflix.
Okay.
They're done with.
Oh, so no Hulu at all?
No Hulu at all, for the CW stuff at least.
Yeah.
Which is fairly frustrating for a guy like me who has been watching it on Hulu for the last, I don't know how many years now, 2 or 3 at least.
But CW is a non-paid cable station. You just have to get an antenna.
Well, then I have to get an old school recorder. That's.
Well,
I'm never home, Brock. I'm not home till like 1 or 2 in the morning. That's when I start watching my shows.
Yeah.
I have to get the old VCR out and buy a $40 antenna that I got to install on the fucking roof. No, I'll pay my $8 to Hulu to watch them that night off. That's perfectly fine with me.
CW TV may not have an app on like PlayStation or whatnot, but they do on various devices. They have a website, and they've always had their shows up
the next day.
Yeah,
I've watched a few of them online.
If it's anything like the CBS website, it's going to be horse shit because it's going to be ads
it's much. But
why
now,
would they
mind
be
you will
standard
get.
def? Are they? That's crazy. If they're.
I don't think
standard
they
def.
are.
Oh,
Well,
I think
supposedly on
it's
the
just
phone
like
they are.
everything else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on the phone they probably aren't.
Yeah.
But on other devices,
Because I have started watching stuff on the phone where I just plug it straight into the TV, which is fine with me.
The only problem with the CW stuff is you will see the same because I mean they're not.
Oh, I'm
they're
used to
not
that with Hulu.
basically. For the most part, you will not see somebody else paying to play ads on their website. So you'll see the same ad for this week's iZombie episode.
I'm used to that.
Like
turning that stuff out. Yeah.
Like you'll literally see that dozens upon dozens of times, but
Yeah.
Or you can get cable, and you can get a DVR.
Yeah, I'm not
and
paying
just
that kind of
fast
money
forward,
for it. I'm not paying
and
that
life
kind of
is
money
great.
for it. I'm really not paying that kind of money for
That's
it.
my
dude.
DVR song.
But I mean, I guess
It stinks.
I don't think it's as big a problem as
I've been in a
you're
weird
thinking
critic
it's
mood
being.
recently.
just
Oh, I think it
because
is.
The CW shows historically have been very, very, very available, not just on.
You can also download illegally from the internet.
I don't do that either. No way. No, I don't. Yeah.
Like everyone else.
No, not doing that.
100,000 people download Game of Thrones.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to knock at Charlie's window at 2 a.m. I'm ready for my shows before you go to bed. Just let me in.
Charlie, just give him the mobile password.
Charlie, do you have TiVo?
to your...
Yeah.
He has like a lifetime account.
Yeah, me too. Doesn't TiVo have a streaming option that you could stream off the box?
You mean like on demand or what?
I thought you could. It's stuff on your TiVo. I thought there was a way to access that from your computer.
Yes, but I think you have to be on the same network.
Okay.
I got the fix. You have Xfinity, right?
See, I don't like doing that either. I like paying for my Hulu and all the shows just be available for me.
So you have Xfinity.
Give Toby your
just give him your password.
No.
You pay him $8.
No, I don't want that either.
You could just get it from on demand.
Yeah, you just do on demand or
on demand on the website.
Or if he records it, you can watch.
I don't know. I'm just angry about this whole thing. Let me be angry.
Okay.
We've
given you multiple ways to solve this problem.
No, I mean, I'm sure I can solve it when it comes down to it. I'm just like, I like the ease of all the shows just being on Hulu the night off. I'm very much willing to pay the $8 for it.
Sure.
Honestly,
Charlie, you can
my wife got obsessed with the show The 100. And
it's a phenomenal show.
Caught up on the previous seasons on Netflix. But, of course, they were already more than five episodes into season 3 by the time she caught up on it. So since then, I've been keeping an eye on for when's this going to be added to Netflix? When's this going to be
When did they put them up on iTunes?
The night after, but it's super expensive on iTunes.
$2.99.
Yeah, the seasons are like $60. I mean, here's the thing: I buy all of these on Blu-ray the minute they come out, anyways. Yeah. I'm not paying things. I mean, I've done that where I pay for things over and over and over and over.
I'm right there with you. I will stream them, and then if I want to own them, I will buy the physical media. I'm not really into buying per episode digitally, even though I considered doing that just because. So, finish my story about the 100. So she caught up on 2 seasons. I have the last half of season 3 on the TiVo, but she can't watch that till she's seen the first 6. Yeah. So. Yes, a deal like this where 8 days after the season finale, the entire season goes up,
I want it the
perfectly
night after.
happy with. And I'm telling you, I don't think the CW streaming service is going to go away.
I'm worried it's like the CBS because I couldn't watch anything of that. It would it would freeze. I have to restart it.
Go to the CW TV, see if you have a problem with it. Because I agree with you, CBS is shit for streaming service. Yeah. But I have never had a problem with the CW.
I don't like watching shit on a computer, so I don't know. I really enjoyed the Hulu for $8.
Well, so as I said, I cannot speak to other devices, but I know they have an app for phones and tablets and all that also.
Yeah.
Where you can free stream their shows. Including some of the old shows.
Access code and just watch them on demand.
Yeah,
like the CW Seed where they did the animated Vixen and stuff. I mean, they have all the 90s Flash up there and all sorts of classic shows.
I don't know. I'm just very frustrated with it.
Just focus on the fact that Knight Rider's coming out on Blu-ray and just go into Serene.
That's just guaranteed money for them. Yeah. Now I just need 21 Jump Street and A-Team. I'm good.
We got an email here from Socrates.
When was this email?
That's a Bill and Ted joke for you guys. I got an email here from Socrates. It says, "I think your podcast is fantastic.
Really?
The constant back. I see. I kind of had this vague recollection of reading this email before, and hopefully we didn't answer it. And if we did, maybe our answers will be different because it's a big open question. But we'll see. Yes, our podcast is fantastic. That was not to you. That was to Toby.
Yeah. Pat yourself on the back somewhere.
The constant back and forth is always amusing. I wish my comic buying was as entertaining. Well, if you're ever in Sunnyvale,
you just have come to here on a Wednesday.
The Marvel Zombie guy is legitimately hilarious. I'm assuming he's talking about Bryce, who will be back next week. So you're full of that next week if you're around. I was on the floor with the whole Ryan Ray-nolds stuff from a little while ago.
Fuck you.
Reynolds. A lot of comic podcasts.
I still don't know the difference. How do you say R-E-Y? No, R-E-Y and R-A-Y. How did it sound different?
Just the way you pronounce it.
No, you say it. Say R-A-Y now.
Ray?
And say R-E-Y.
Ray?
How's that different?
It's not, but you...
Then how do I say it differently?
You say Reynolds.
You say Reynolds.
I say Reynolds.
Just the way you said it was...
It's Ryan Reynolds.
Reynolds. It's like Reynold. Ren. Like Ren and Stimpy.
Why?
Ren.
Why is the Y silent?
That's English.
English is
terrible.
Fuck you all.
Says a lot of comic podcasts here, their index shows have become all about TVs and movies. We've been guilty of that. I think you guys cover comics equally and honestly, which is why I support your show. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Quick question. If you guys had won that huge Powerball months ago.
Oh, okay, so this is like, what, 6 months ago?
What comics would you buy? Would you end up with a giant collection like Jeff Loeb or other rich comic fans?
Wait, what is the question?
The huge Powerball that was like beginning of the year. If we had won that.
What's a Powerball?
It's one of
Is
the
that
lottery.
The lottery.
Oh.
The nationwide lottery.
Yeah. It was like 500 million or something ridiculous.
It was 900. It was
that's right. Yeah. Nearly $1 billion. Yeah. I'd buy every comic ever. Like at that point, like who cares?
I would buy a comic book store on the West Coast, East Coast, South, and North.
A comic store?
Yeah, I would buy a comic store.
Nice.
See, I would start my production house, start doing movies. But what I would do fun-wise at the money is buy some fucking Jim Lee art I can't afford.
Yeah, I mean...
Jim Lee art.
I mean, if you have that sort of money, yeah, sure, I'd buy an Action Comics #1. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'd buy an Action... I would probably do this. I would buy like an Action 1, a Detective Comics 27. I would buy an Amazing Fantasy 15. Mm-hmm. Like, I would buy those couple, like, big ones, but, like, I wouldn't buy every comic ever.
What guilty pleasure book would you buy?
All the first appearance of the Lakes Avengers, baby.
Everything? I don't know.
Like for me, I'd probably end up going and getting the first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
That's not hard.
I know, but that's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things. I mean,
that's very doable.
Well, like I said, you could buy with that sort of money. Not
with the money I have right now.
You could buy everything.
Stop buying shit here. You can just do it. No, what you want is actually possible, though. Is what I'm saying.
You know what would ruin me? It wouldn't be what comics I would buy. It would be what comics would I bind. That would be.
You would have a video.
I would bind Action Comics #1.
You would have a video on CBR saying, "This is my library."
Yeah, just gigantic library. So Charlie would buy every hardcover that's ever existed.
You know, to me,
there's got to be a weird out of print stuff that you.
Here's the thing:
missed.
I wouldn't focus so much on buying more books. I would invest in the space to be able to store more books.
That's more important. Yeah,
you're gonna have a whole house just for the books. The library house.
I would probably buy a house, demolish the house, and build my own personal library.
Now remember,
that's underground with a bat cave.
Now hold on.
With secret entities.
Charlie.
With like a vehicle ramp and
yes,
it would be amazing.
Now we're talking.
I just want to let you know, being in the Bay Area, you have to at least leave one wall up. Because it's technically you can't demo a house and rebuild. You have to have one wall. It's considered a remodel.
I'd find a technicality where I have to leave the wall up, put up some more walls, then demolish that wall.
You can do that.
You still have.
You can do that. You can build all around that, and then when you're done, tear down that wall.
It's gonna have the one wall and
tear down this wall,
living room.
But either way, I would have so much fun designing a library.
Yeah. Have you seen Neil Gaiman's library?
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures. Have you seen pictures of what's his face's collection? Hellboy guy.
Sam's library.
No. I can't say his fucking name. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah, I can't say his first name, so I'm not going to try. Yeah.
The director?
Yeah, he's got a cool library.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's fucking cool.
So that's my answer. I would build a library.
Yeah, that's probably more important.
The Charlie West House of Comics.
Oh, it would be.
Would you charge admission for people to come in?
No, it's only by invite only.
Oh, invite only.
And I love the idea of like the car port underneath it, so you could just like drive down to the back.
Yes.
Do you have to have the statue to lift the bust up and hit the button to get into it?
Yeah.
You have to know the special way to get into the library. You can't get in.
I'm actually thinking in terms of sort of like, because if I recall, the 60s Batman bat poles had like the reverse thing where
you have to slide down on the bat stick.
Yeah. Would like lift them back up.
So they did a version of that Shakespeare head that I don't remember what it did. It wasn't a phone. It was something though. Man, I would love to build just a normal-looking house, but just have that there.
Yeah.
For people when they come over to see if anyone... Like, really have it like a little secret room, but see if anyone like
really
would ever
tries to do it.
Just don't tell a single person, but just see if anyone ever.
You know what the best.
You know who out of all your friends is going to be the first one to press the fucking button?
Who?
Jeff. He's going to go in, just touch anything, go ooh button.
Well, no.
You know what you do. You have.
You don't know it's there.
You have it
right?
connected to the private bathroom.
Sure. You don't know
the nice bathroom.
You don't know that the bust can open. I mean, that's the whole thing. But someone
Jeff just
eventually
touches everything at your house.
Some random friend of mine would eventually be like, hey, it's like the bus from Batman. There's a button. Balloons.
Wasn't it like a toggle switch, not a button?
Oh, yeah, he's like a switch, right?
You know what
It's like
you should have that in the store, and that opens a speakeasy in the back. Damn!
Where the fuck am I going to put a speakeasy back there?
Next
that
door.
store is gone.
I know.
Next door is gone.
We'll go right there.
I'll put Grendel over there. I'll skip Ryan.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up now. We have a crap and a half load of people to thank on Patreon here, so let's do that. It's the end of the month. If you want to be on our awesome list of Patreon people that we thank, you should throw some money at us. We love all of you. And you know, last month I said, I should play some music behind this. I think I said it like 4 times now. I actually meant to do it, and I completely forgot when I edit the episode. So let's see if I actually do it this time. We have Mike Coonrad, Mark Long, Edgar Moreno, Kevin Nguyen,
Play the X-Men
Blake
song.
Etheridge, Mario Miranda, Mike Campbell, David Safar, Christopher Noyes, Alex McHale, Joel Jimenez, Armando Tostani, Ivan Leskanik, Chris Palanki, Aaron Wright, Jason Thomas, Ocularis, Michael Schnapp, Santiago Mendez, Paula Schultz, Sloan, Father Dante, Don Kilson, John G., Dennis Jansen, Keith Amar. I'm sorry. I cannot talk. Keith Amaral. Thank you guys very, very much. I'm sure I butchered all your names. If you want to be in that lovely list.
That's what they enjoy the most. That's why they keep giving us money, because they like hearing you butcher their name.
Yeah. And so we definitely are, my plan for all of our Patreon backers is that we are going to actually have some new audio up every single month on the Patreon site. Give you guys another excuse to check that out a little more regularly. Not like a full episode, although we can get to that point if you donate enough. But we will definitely have some exclusive content that's going up there. So definitely check it out. And we're going to definitely have Bryce briefly will return next week. Bryce is going to ramble about...
I'm going to have a segment about my shorts.
We could do that if you want.
Yeah.
We're going to do some random stuff. So make sure you go donate to us, patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. It helps keep the podcast going, pays for our lack of pizza we've got these last few weeks because we're all fat and we're all trying to get skinny. And pays for hosting and everything. But we have to thank our top tier backers the most because they give us good money. Albert Soy, playing everywhere on iTunes. That son of a bitch Albert Soy was down in Disneyland again this week.
You know what that son
making
of a bitch...
me jealous. I'm going soon, but making me jealous.
You know what that son of a bitch Albert Soy needs to do? He needs to pick up his Hot Toy figure.
He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yes, he does.
Albert doesn't order Hot Toys.
Yes, he does.
I don't know what you're... That's what he tells me. So.
Yeah, whatever.
Ryan Hess, he's got that Preach podcast.
I listened to it.
Through Fools in the Desert. Preach to you about whatever's on their mind.
It's pretty interesting.
I fully admit, I am so far behind on a bunch of podcasts. I have some of these guys on there that I need to start getting to. I think I talked about this. I've been like playing my podcast at like little like speed and a half to try to get through a few like backlogs of ones I have from a while ago because news podcasts are less interesting 6 weeks after after the news has happened. So, Jody Lawson, the Canon Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicsstudios.com. Make sure you go by and pick up some comics.
No pants.
John Nesmith, Drinking with Batman.libsyn.com.
I listened to 2 of them.
They're
pretty good.
Cool. Excellent. It's good to hear.
He has a very it's funny, but his tone is very kind of very like beat-ish.
It's because he's listening to the Batman theme the entire time.
Yeah, I think so.
He's Drinking with Batman. Toby's Got No Pants. Peter X Blanco, Nerded Up, youtube.com/nerdeduptv. Definitely go there and watch those videos. Julian Titus, Nerds podcast.
Blew my load early.
He's going to be coming back on a couple episodes. We sent him a nice big stack of Rebirth books for him to check out, and I told Julian we want him back on. I want to get his take.
I just want to know how well if they came in a good order. If they survived the post office.
Joshua Redding, he's all over the place. He's got a podcast called Tangent Break. Check that out. He's got 2 novels on Amazon: Twilight of Ages and Dawn of Darkness.
And congrats to him.
Pick those up. Oh yeah, yep. Manoa plays Sam Shea, Tail Ombre, Peter Parker. Nothing to pimp, but they are high tier backers as well, and we thank you guys all very, very much. Every episode, we love you guys.
Like, give us even tell us to pimp Brio Pad something.
Brio Pad.
The fuck is that?
Brillo pad?
What is that?
Brio. It's a scrubbing pad.
Do you ever use those magic erasers? Those things are pretty great. I love
clean
those.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like those magic
They're like
erasers.
superhero themed.
No. It's Mr. Clean.
Okay.
He's bald.
He is a superhero.
Looks like Professor X a little bit, just, you know.
And he cleans a lot of shit.
Got the chair.
He's your favorite superhero with the way you clean your little counter here.
Oh, God, the store's filthy compared to how much I want. If I won that, it would be to invest in some sort of, like, dirt and dust.
They have vacuuming robots for that.
That just all dirt and dust.
Would you move the store if you had that money?
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
Would you actually move a lot further away or nearby?
No, I would stay close.
You just buy your own building?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Rent out the rest and make more money. So, all right, guys. Nice short episode this week. Holiday and everything.
Do we
Light
actually
news.
Keep it short?
Yeah, I got an hour and 5 minutes. So.
Nice.
Yeah. All these 2-hour episodes have been posting recently.
Wait. This 4-man podcast is going shorter than the 2-man geek box you had yesterday?
It's about the same time.
Yeah, okay.
So, yep. Back to Bryce will be back next week. So,
so we're back to normal.
Back to the 2.5-hour podcast next week. We love you, Bryce. We'll see you next.